Home builders feeling just a bit more upbeat about the housing market.
The National Association of Home Builders Wells Fargo Builder Sentiment Index went up from 61 in August to 62 this month. Readings above 50 indicate more builders view sales conditions as good rather than poor. Builders' view of current sales conditions and their view of traffic by prospective buyers increased this month. However, their outlook for sales over the next 6 months fell slightly.
That's correspondent Jeremy House. As the Federal Reserve begins a two-day meeting today that could bring a decision to start raising interest rates, policymakers have some new evidence that inflation might not yet be strong enough to make that move. The government reports today that consumer prices edged down by 0.1% in August. Economists say the Fed is caught between evidence of a strengthening U.S. economy and persistently low inflation. More on these stories at townhall.com.
The place for authentic Indian food is the India Palace. They feature authentic Indian cuisine, have a party hall, and do catering and banquets. Open daily for lunch and dinner, they showcase an excellent lunch buffet at their Chesapeake and Virginia Beach locations. Visit their two locations at 1437 Sam's Drive in Chesapeake off of Battlefield Boulevard and 5600 Virginia Beach Boulevard in Virginia Beach, and online at IndiaPalaceVB.com. On Facebook, look for India Palace Virginia Beach and India Palace Bar and Grill. Dine at the India Palace today.
When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the destination locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in transmission service, oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires, alignments, and showcase Win automotive products. Fink's does it all. Military and senior discounts are available. Find them on Facebook and visit them on South Military Highway in Chesapeake and Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth, Monday through Saturday. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573 today. Chesapeake, Virginia, 1650 AM WHKT presents Sports Scene. Sports Scene features local, regional, and nationally acclaimed guests and excellent interviews. Follow Sports Scene on Twitter at Greg Bick and at GJBTV.com. Now here is Greg Bicouvaris.
Kenny, we are live back on the radio today. Live on News Talk 1650 at 1206. TuneIn.com, type in WHKT. Before we start our show, you never know about Virginia Power, what's going to happen, Ken, even when the weather's nice.
Yeah, and it's not always their doing. Somebody could hit a telephone pole and knock it out. Somebody plugs in the wrong thing. Or if you have contractors out, and they don't pay any attention to the lines that are marked, and they just cut right on through. There's a long story involving phone line and cable lines at my rental house I'll go through one of these days. But it's a case of the guys doing that work sometimes aren't
paying attention.
Let's say rocket scientists.
Right. I'll say this, too. We're glad to be back live on the radio on Sports Scene, the only live and local show during a convenient hour in Hampton Roads and beyond. Sports Scene airs every Wednesday from noon to 1. Don't forget Sports Highlights, my TV program this month from King's Dominion. Go to nnpstv.com to see that. Sports Highlights. This radio show can be heard on tunein.com. Type in WHKT to listen anywhere in the world on your phone or your computer. Of course, live on 1650 AM, your home for talk radio. As well, tell your friends about 1650. Twitter, at Greg Bick, at Sports Highlight, GJBTV, HR One-Line Mall.com. All the Twitter handles right there on the homepage of GJBTV.com. Thank you to our military. Great guest lineup. Featured guest today, Sonny Dearth from the Daily Press. We've had him on regular radio and TV guests since 1988. Shop on the marketplace sponsors of GJBTV.com. Guest lineup presented by Fink's Car Care with 2 Southside locations. Phone line presented by Hampton Roads Online Mall.com. Browse, shop, visit. I want to thank our sponsors this month on this radio show: India Palace, Me Hogar, Newport News Greek Festival, Crawl Space Doors, Spaghetti Eddie's, and Fink's. NFL Week 2 coming up. Redskins and Ravens still looking for win number 1. Orioles and Nationals. Guess what, folks? It's September. Wake up, Orioles and Nationals. It's a little bit too late right now. Sonny Dearth coming up with us after these messages. A lot of food sponsors, some food giveaways. You don't want to miss the opportunity to win a $25 gift card coming up from an excellent Thai restaurant. We'll give it away to one lucky texter. $25 worth of free food coming up very, very soon. Stay tuned. This is Sports Scene with Greg Bicouvaris, Ken Johnson at the helm, the best local talk show in Hampton Roads, right here on 1650 AM, tunein.com, type in WHKT, right here live at 12:09. We'll be back after these messages.
Nor'easter season is here, so don't get all wet. Protect your house. Call Crawl Space Door Systems at 363-0005. Reduce your flood insurance, reduce the threat of mold and insects, and save energy. Crawl Space Doors, air vents, flood vents, vent covers, and fans can help you stay dry or get you dry quickly. Contact Crawl Space Doors for more information at 363-0005 or online at crawlspacedores.com. Stay dry, my friends.
Good Italian food, daily specials, and a place people enjoy is Spaghetti Eddie's. Indulge in your mouth-watering pizza, pasta, subs, salads, appetizers, and desserts. Open 7 days a week. Log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Taylor Road and on Eden Way North in Chesapeake for lunch and dinner. Like them on Facebook. Italian food you can count on is at Spaghetti Eddie's. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
All right, live back here on News Talk 1650, your 10,000 watt powerhouse talk station of Hampton Roads. Also, tunein.com, type in WHKT, of course, for our roundtable segment. Of course, last week, Dominion Virginia Power said, so we'll say to them right on back. And, of course, they do a great job most of the time, but if they mess with 12-1, it's like messing with the Godfather. Don't mess with 12-1, Dominion Virginia Power. We love you. Do your job. We'll do ours as well. Of course, great guests. If you miss a show, go to gjbtv.com, hit the YouTube link. All right, we're going to do a roundtable with our good friends, Coach Merrill, who used to work with me at the game. Coach, we miss your show as well, and also Sonny Dearth from the Daily Press. We'll lead off with our distinguished guest on the phone first. We'll go over topics, 30 to 45 seconds, and we'll go through them fairly quick. Coach Merrill, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, Greg. Thanks for having me.
Always good to have your voice back on the radio, of course. All right, Coach Merrill right here. Let's start off with first the national college football scene. Ohio State off to a pretty good start, taking on Tech, then Hawaii, and going from there. Your thoughts, and then, of course, the big story, of course, was the Florida coach just going ballistic.
Well, let's first start with Ohio State. I thought they, good game versus Virginia Tech. First half a little bumpy. They turned it around. We started to see why they won the national title last year. In regards to their schedule, however, they're not going to play anybody till Michigan State. Michigan State and Ohio State really the only two teams relevant in the Big Ten this year, unless somebody proves me wrong. Minnesota's also pretty good right there. But other than that, we're not going to really see if Ohio State can repeat until late in, what would that be, early November or something like that when they play Michigan State, and then, of course, Michigan. In regards to the Florida coach who was yelling at his player, listen, full disclosure for those that used to listen to my program on the game, I'm going to take the side of the coach a little bit on this one. I don't know whether the situation where he made the move with the throat is really rises to the level of which he got berated. If he does something worse, how do you top that screaming performance? But I think what most people are talking about is, did you see that coach yell at that player? Folks, that's been going on for decades. And as you saw the kid's response, he came back and said, listen, he's going to make me a better player. He's going to make me a better person. This is the part that non-athletic people, they don't understand because they're not a part of that culture. But I had zero problem with that, other than the fact that I thought that that level of discipline for what he did, I don't know how you top that.
Right. Of course, what Woody Hayes did and Bo Schembechler did, off the cameras and before the internet, of course, was not as visible. Sonny Dearth, your thoughts, first of all, on Virginia Tech. They bounced back after losing to Ohio State.
Yeah, thanks, Greg, and thanks, Ken and Coach. thought the Hokies were very encouraging, especially in the second quarter. That might be the best quarter of football in Hokies history, but clearly the better team won. I was surprised to see Cardale Jones out there over J.T. Barrett because Barrett had such a track record. But it would surprise me if Ohio State didn't go undefeated. Tech is right where we thought they'd be, 1-1, having beaten Furman. And I'm curious to see how the defense responds after losing one of their signal callers, Andrew Matapuaka.
Coach Merrill, I don't know if you saw Coach Beamer on the sidelines. He does not look well. I'm sorry, he just does not look like his normal self. I think, like Sonny said, they're off to a pretty good start at 1-1 without their starting quarterback, but he just does not look like his normal self.
Well, I'm not in practice. I'm not in his life, so I don't know whether that's, whether there's a physical thing going on or whether there's, a passion or emotional thing that's going on with him. So it's difficult for me to be able to comment on what's exactly going on with him. But I do notice a difference. I can tell there just doesn't seem to be that extra beat in his step on the sidelines. It seems to me as if the staff have more to say in what's going on down there than what they have in the past. But I definitely see a difference, and I want to be clear. If there's something going on, I wish him the best, and I hope whatever it may be. But I think you would, a lesser observer, you've got to be able to see that there's something going on there.
Oh, right. Definitely missing a step. All right, Greg Bicouvaris, this is Sports Scene at 12:15 with my good friends Coach Merrill and Sonny Dearth. Sonny Dearth, Virginia off to an 0-2 start, but let's be fair to them as well. They played two very good teams in UCLA and Notre Dame.
Yeah, it'll just be a matter of how well the Cavaliers respond psychologically. It looked like they had Notre Dame beaten, but the backup quarterback for the Irish did a heck of a job rallying his team. Still a lot of encouraging signs for Virginia, but the pressure is going to be on for Mike London and his Cavaliers.
And this coach, William Mary, won't be an easy out either for Virginia.
They're not going to be. I mean, William and Mary's playing good football right now. But in regards to Virginia, too, I want to piggyback on what Sonny just said, which is, a lot of people think you 0-2 and you lose a tight game versus Notre Dame the way you did, that it can kind of squelch the season. I disagree with that. The players know if they're doing things right and if they're doing things wrong. And right now, when they get back to practice, they're going to look at each other and say, you know what, Notre Dame's a hell of a good football team, and we were right there. We could have easily won that ball game. So I think that can work more as a springboard for those guys rather than it's going to be a detraction to them.
Right. Talking to Coach Merrill, Sonny Dearth, Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us. Live on 1650 AM, tunein.com. Type in WHKT. And as far as college football, it's still kind of early. We'll see. We'll evolve. We'll get you guys back on as the season goes on. Let's switch gears to the NFL. Last week, some really good games and some really kind of scratching your head type games. One was with the Buffalo Bills. Talk about Tyrod Taylor, who went to Virginia Tech. Hampton High School coach Merrill beats Andrew Luck and the Colts in his first game as a starter after playing for the Ravens all these years. What a great start for the Bills.
Well, that's no small victory. The Colts were picked by a lot of people not only to win the division, but in some polls that they could actually represent the AFC into the Super Bowl. So that's no small victory. But I want to get back to another point which you brought up with Tyrod Taylor and what he's doing with the Bills. He went through a pretty good competition there to win that job, and now he's got the people behind them. Also, keep in mind that you've got new coach in Buffalo, so he brings a new style. And Rex Ryan is one of those explosive personalities. So I would caution Bills fans in this regard. Explosive personalities win in the short term, but then that explosive personality can get old on the sidelines as well. So enjoy it while you can. We'll see what happens next week. But just beware and don't go too crazy, Bill fans.
Remember, it's lunchtime, folks. Go to MiCasinoMexican.com with two great Virginia Beach locations. Sonny Dearth, all the Peninsula players, Southside, off to pretty good starts, but one, Cam Chancellor, is not playing for the Seahawks.
Yeah, and he certainly got a little leverage, it would seem, based on how the Seahawks gave up so many points and losing to the St. Louis Rams. But it doesn't look like he's coming back, and in the NFL, the teams have most of the leverage, and I don't quite understand why Cam Chancellor has let this go into the regular season.
He's only hurting himself. And, Coach, we used to talk about that. You and I did both when we worked at the game and on this show and on 1650 as well. Athletes would always say it's not about the money. Well, it is about the money, Cam Chancellor, be honest.
Well, here's the thing that everybody's got to keep in mind. This is less about the game. I mean, fans were in it before, the jerseys we're wearing and the water cooler at work, and my team's better than yours and all this. But the reality of this thing is it is a business. And just like this isn't baseball where a lot of these guys have all this guaranteed money. So they've got to stay healthy. And so the reality of the whole thing is they have to look at it as a business every bit as much as the owner does.
Absolutely. Sonny, you talk about, now the Redskins 0-1, they let one slip by them, and now they play a very tough Rams team that's really looking for momentum to get that second win. This will not be a tough game at all for some teams, but I tell you one thing, for the Redskins who are just trying to get their confidence up, this will be very difficult.
The Rams beat the Seahawks. That alone tells you St. Louis is pretty good. This will be quite a test for the Washington offensive line because you know the Rams can rush the passer, and now they're showing they can score a fair amount of points as well.
Coach, imagine going to a wedding or a cocktail party uninvited. That's what RG3 looked like on the sideline last week.
Yeah, his time there in Washington is numbered. I was a little surprised that they kept him. I mean, if Jake Gruden's if his thing was that he wanted to go with Kirk Cousins, then I think you've got to cut ties with RG3. And there's a couple reasons why. Number one, I don't know what the mood is like in that locker room, but it could be a problem because, listen, quarterbacks still have a following. He's got players. There are many players that would rather see RG3 on the field. You've got to eliminate that. If you say that Kirk Cousins is your guy moving forward, then then you've got to do that coming forward. The other reason is you got to give RG3 a shot to show what he's got. He's in the last year of his contract. You're clearly not bringing him back. Put him out there on the market. See who may be interested in letting him do his thing. So I was surprised that I wasn't necessarily surprised with the decision to go with Cousins. I was completely surprised by the fact that they decided to keep him.
All right, this is Sports Scene right here, Roundtable. Of course, glad you're with us right here every Wednesday, 12 to 1, live on the radio. Ken Johnson producing, Greg Bicouvaris, Sonny, Dearth, and Doug Merrill with me right here. And you talk about that, and it might be difficult, Coach Merrill, for the Redskins, I'm being serious, folks, to even match the wins from last year. The teams they're playing are getting better as well. Coach?
I'm sorry, Greg. Yeah. Listen, I think the whole NFL, you've got to get better or you're going to get left behind. People are getting fat. I mean, there's a lot of great players coming out of college, too. Look at Marcus Mariota. I mean, he didn't need this time to learn. He went down there and broke some records as a freshman quarterback. So I agree with you. You've got to continually get better. The Washington could be in a lot of trouble. And we saw, even though the Eagles lost and the Giants lost, which was ridiculous how they lost, they're surrounded by three good teams.
Yeah, and the knock that Manning got, give him a break, folks. He's won 2 Super Bowls. You make mistakes in the heat of the moment during live sports competition. Eli Manning is an excellent quarterback. The Giants will be better. He's older now. He's not 22 anymore, just like his brother. We're going to talk about that in a minute with the coach. But Sonny Dearth, that was still a great showcase. The former excellent quarterbacks there from Florida State and Oregon in Tampa Bay and Tennessee.
Yeah, I don't think Jameis Winston ever wants to see Marcus Mariota on the other sideline again. Quite a performance by Mariota in his first regular season game. And we know Jameis Winston still has a lot to learn. And actually, so does Mariota. But what an encouraging start. And, I just can't understand why so many people didn't think he could throw. Any good quarterback is a system quarterback. It's just a matter of whether that quarterback can adapt to a new system.
Folks, also want to remind you, a new show coming up here on 1650 starting November 7th. Daryl Cummings, former Old Dominion tennis coach, will be doing sports philosophy from 9 to 10 starting Saturday, November the 7th. Talking with Coach Merrill and Sonny Dearth. Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us right here on Sports Scene. Let's go back to the Manning brothers. Coach, we talked about them a lot in the past as well. Still, Tim Tebow, in my opinion, didn't get the right opportunity. Manning was attached with Tebow because, Manning played for the Broncos as well. But back to the Manning brothers, are getting older. What can you expect from them realistically in 2015?
Well, Greg, you can't say the name Tim Tebow without getting my opinion on it.
Oh, I know.
So here it goes real quick with Tim Tebow. I know I was the only person. I was his biggest advocate down here, and it was based on wins and losses and his ability to motivate a team to go through what they did. My whole thing, my biggest disappointment with the Tim Tebow thing is it was like watching a movie halfway through and not being able to see the finish. I would have liked to have seen a guy that beat the Steelers in the playoffs just to see what he could have done to lead a team, but I get the feeling at this point we're never going to be able to see that. In regards to the Manning brothers, Eli, I agree with you. You got to give the guy a break. He screwed up, and everybody screws up from time to time, and he's built up quite a bit of stock with the Giants fans and franchise, or as at least he should have. But I want to get back to where he screwed up with the whole timeouts. He miscounted how many timeouts Dallas had, which is what screwed him up, and he threw the ball rather than just fall down. But I'm going to tell you, when I was coaching baseball, if you were on base, I didn't care who you were or what situation we were in, I always flashed how many outs there were to them using my hand, and they always flashed it back. Understand that Eli can make his own calls on the field, and that's great. He's earned that. But from a coach's standpoint, there's got to be some kind of flash where there's got to be an acknowledgement that he understands how many timeouts they have. And that wasn't done.
Yeah, and I'm going to give him a benefit of the doubt because, like you said, he is built up leverage. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He's an outstanding person, great character. It's the first game of the season, folks. People make mistakes all the time. Talking to Sonny, Dearth, and Coach Merrill, and the violence in sports, Sonny, you saw the high school clips where the one player takes off the helmet of another player and hits the guy with the helmet. The violence in high school football, college, and professional is just becoming increasingly more visible every year.
Yeah, and I think it's a matter of it always has been there, but now people are paying a lot more attention to it because of the constant reminders of brain injuries. And maybe the worst I'd seen was when an umpire, I believe, a guy behind the line of scrimmage, clearly was targeted by some high school players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it happens all the time, Coach. You see it. Baseball, those are lethal weapons thrown at these players every day. Football is, to me, just barbaric.
You know what? I was disgusted as a coach when I saw, both the referee being targeted. I was disgusted with the player that ripped the helmet off of an opposing player and then hitting him in the head, causing 10 stitches, in that injury, and now he's going to be looked at as, in regards to assault. I was disgusted by the whole thing, Greg. I wanted to throw up when I saw the thing. There needs to be more done at home before we start pointing fingers at coaches and administrators and teachers. There needs to be more done at home. We never saw that before. As Sonny said, there's always been certain incidences that have happened in the past, but we seem to be seeing more of it now, and they seem to be more violent. And I was just disgusted by the entire thing.
All right, folks, we get some more tidbits. We're going to take a break for the news in about 4 or 5 minutes, and then we'll come back with these two gentlemen and go over some more topics. All right, Coach, we'll talk about your favorite sport, baseball, although you didn't talk about that a lot when you worked at the game. Orioles and Nationals, first of all, they just seem like, hello, Orioles and Nationals. I was at your game Saturday with the 3-hour rain delay. My sister's working the Red Sox series right now for the visiting team as a stage manager. Has anybody told them it's September? You're waiting to the last minute, like that homework test, and try to gain ground. Guess what? The Mets aren't going anywhere. The Yankees and the Blue Jays seem like they're a solid too, Coach. Why is it that every year it's always an issue with the Orioles and Nationals?
I don't know if it's always an issue with them as much as it is we pay more attention to them. If you look across in history in baseball with some of the other teams that, in the history every year, this team, you could probably say the same things. It just seems to be an issue of knowing that the time is now. But I agree with your point. Listen, I think the Mets right now could be playing their best baseball. I think they've got all things firing, and it's all in baseball. It's all about when you're playing your best at what point in time in the year. And I think right now the Mets are playing their best. They certainly seem to have the Nationals number, but there doesn't seem to be a sense of urgency with the Orioles or the Nationals. So I'll give you that, but right now there definitely seems to be with the Mets, and that's the team I'm paying the most attention to right now in the National League.
And the Orioles are picking up some former Tides players, too.
Ford just went back up after Norfolk completed its run in the playoffs with a 5-game loss to Columbus. The Orioles have had a decent season, but the loss of Nelson Cruz, I think, clearly has affected them.
All right, big game in college football this weekend locally with Old Dominion and taking on NC State. And let me just say this, folks, I've been in broadcasting for several decades, Coach Merrill, Sonny as well. I've seen NC State since I was a kid when they played Maryland, worked their games, football, basketball, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. What it is a big deal is that an ACC team is coming to Foreman Field and playing Old Dominion, who's only been playing football back since 2009. That's a big deal. The media, like Sonny's colleagues in the Daily Press and the Pilot, have covered NC State against UVA and Tech for decades. That's not a big deal. It's a big deal, yes, for NC State to come here. Now, Coach Merrill, how will they do against NC State? Well, they didn't do well against Carolina a few years ago. We know how that turned out. And they did play pretty good against Pittsburgh. But, Old Dominion needs to make it a big deal by winning some of these games, just like the Redskins do.
Well, we're starting to see a lot of these things happen, aren't we? Where we're starting to see some of the smaller schools that are competing against some of the larger schools. We saw a number of upsets last weekend. There could have been more, But I do want to say, emotion will take you so far, and then your legs have to take you the rest of the way. So, in regards to Old Dominion, they're bringing in a big team, and they get to play in front of their home crowd. There's going to be a lot of emotion there. There's going to be a lot of that atmosphere of, but that only folks, that lasts a longer time for us than it does those players on the field. After you get that first couple reps in there, then it all comes back down to what you've been taught, what you've been coached, and what kind of condition you put yourself in, and players know that. Once the butterflies and the adrenaline starts to wear off a little bit, that's when some of the bigger schools that have had more experience on bigger stages seem to be able to come through and win the game in the end. So my advice to Old Dominion would be is you've got to rely on your coaching staff. You've got to rely on the people you're playing next to and rely on what you've been taught. If you do that, you might be able to pull one out.
Right. This is not ABC, ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, ESPN News, Fox, Fox Sports 1, Fox Sports 2, or Raycom. This is American Sports Network. Enough said about that as well. That shows you where the pecking order. None of those networks want to televise the game, and that network does on a shoestring budget. That shows to me how important it is in the TV landscape. Folks, it's not that big of a deal. Sonny, your thoughts about the game?
Oh, it doesn't matter what TV station has it as long as people can see it. The Monarchs are going to be incredibly fired up, and I think they will be competitive. It'll be curious to see how NC State will defend ODU. Clearly, they're going to be keying on Ray Laurie because he has been so effective, the nation's leading rusher after a week. So it may be on Schuler Bentley to find some open receivers.
Sonny, real quick, your thoughts. I don't want to spend much time on this because this American has won a Grand Slam in years, but there was a big deal for the women because Serena does dominate women's tennis. She lost. How surprised were you by that in the U.S. Open recently?
Yeah, oddly enough, among her last four opponents, I thought Vinci had the least chance of beating her. But darn if Roberta Vinci didn't pull, I think, the most significant upset in the history of women's tennis. And what a way for Flavia Pannetta to go out retiring in her 30s with her only major championship. And then the men's, as always, a good battle among some of the all-time greats, and Novak Djokovic held off the far more popular Roger Federer.
Unfortunately, Coach Merrill, that not many people know these names other than Sonny Dearth as far as tennis.
So Sonny's, he studies these things and he follows that. But, I want to piggyback on what he said in regards to Federer and Djokovic, which is, I hope people enjoyed that because I don't know how many more times you're going to be able to see these two guys go at it. There's only so much beatings your knees and hips and ankles can take, and they put on a pretty good show. So, I hope people enjoy that and stop taking for granted those names that you spoke of, Greg, of being in the finals. In regards to Serena Williams, I think what took place there reminds everybody of just how difficult it is to win a Grand Slam because, as Sonny said, I thought those the tennis players there, she had already gotten through the hardest part of it. But that's sports. Anytime that's why you play those games. Anytime that happens. But I think the biggest message there is that's why it's so difficult to win all four of those in the same year.
All right, final couple moments, then we got to get moving, guys, and we'll talk again very soon. Sonny, high school sports so far, it seems like, once again, Lake Taylor playing very well in football.
Oh, absolutely. Lake Taylor will be a favorite to win the state championship in 4A. Phoebus will be in 3A. But in my mind, the big question is what happens to Chris Scott at Ocean Lakes? Here's a guy who has the Dolphins about as good as you can be, but he's under all sorts of scrutiny, and now his suspension is up to half a season, 5 games.
Let's leave it with this, Coach. On a non-sports note, the big debate with Trump, it seems like no matter how many of these candidates want to put away Trump, that's all anybody's talking about is what Trump is saying. Nobody can name the other candidates almost.
Well, I think Donald Trump certainly has hit a nerve with what he calls the silent majority and some of his some of the some of his issues. And whether you find him entertaining, whether you find him serious or not, everybody wants a piece of him. Whether you're on one side or the other, whether you're competing against him, everybody wants a piece of Donald Trump. And you know what? That could very well take him to the end. And the last thing I want to say, though, is Sonny Dearth has been one of the journalists and one of the reporters that I have followed since moving to Hampton Roads, and it's been a real pleasure being able to share the airwaves with him.
Very nice. Sonny, he enjoyed, always talking to you as well. Coach Merrill, your thoughts about the debate?
Oh, gosh, thanks, Coach. That's humbling. Certainly I'll be paying attention to that debate. I didn't think Trump would last on top as long as he has, and now he's getting some competition from Ben Carson. And I've got to think more of the establishment folks like Jeb Bush eventually will garner some support. It's a fascinating scenario.
What I'm seeing, Coach, is that Biden is being reluctant. He's worried that he can't beat Clinton, which, look, if you're a politician, you got to run against these people, not worry about the candidate. It's almost like, Sonny, instead of playing the opponent, playing the tennis ball itself. But that's going to be interesting to me as far as the Democratic side. What is Biden going to do? Coach?
Well, I think if he's got to have his heart into this. We've heard that on some of those other shows. He's got to be into this 100%. That's not something you go into lightly. It kind of, if I were a Democrat, I think, he would. It would bother me that he's him-hawing around about it a little bit. But real quick, back in regards to Donald Trump, he's bothering both sides. And Sonny hit it right there when he talks about the establishment. There's a reason why 3 of the top contenders on the Republican side are non-politicians. They're all business people, and I think that's the nerve that everybody's hurting is, we're tired of every 4 years, regardless of which team that you're rooting for here, we hear the same things, and then we see the same things. And I think these other 3 are popular, Ben Carson and Donald Trump and Carla Fiorina, because they offer something different, and they don't have that political background that can hurt them.
Coach Merrill, thank you so much. Thanks for your patience from last week as well, being back on our show. We've had you on several times before. I look forward to talking to you again. Former colleague at the game as well. All the best to you and your family, and thank you again for being on the radio with me today.
Greg, it was a pleasure. My best to you as well.
All right. Coach Merrill, Sonny Dearth, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Enjoyed it.
Very good. All right, Ken Johnson, we'll take a short break. We'll come back with more goodies and a lot of stuff, free stuff as well, on Sports Scene on 1650 after these messages.
Mark your calendar for October 22nd through 24th as Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church in Newport News presents the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, an indoor event inside the Hellenic Center. Enjoy Greek food, desserts, beverages, arts and crafts, and much more. Located at 60 Traverse Road off exit 258B on Route 17 in Newport News. For more, log on to newportnewsgreekfestival.org. See you at the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, October 22nd through 24th. Opa!
Nor'easter season is here, so don't get all wet. Protect your house. Call Crawl Space Door Systems at 363-0005. Reduce your flood insurance, reduce the threat of mold and insects, and save energy. Crawl Space Doors, air vents, flood vents, vent covers, and fans can help you stay dry or get you dry quickly. Contact Crawl Space Doors for more information at 363-0005 or online at crawlspacedoors.com. Stay dry, my friends.
When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the destination locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in transmission service, oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires alignments, and showcase Win automotive products. Fink's does it all. Military and senior discounts are available. Find them on Facebook and visit them on South Military Highway in Chesapeake and Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth, Monday through Saturday. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573 today. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio. It's now time for Greg's Highlights, presented by Hampton Roads Online Mall.com.
All right, Ken Johnson, thank you much. And Ken Johnson with Greg Bicouvaris right here. I want to thank our special guests as well, Sonny Dearth, as well as Coach Merrill. And, of course, highlights, gjbtv.com, archive shows. Hit the YouTube link on the homepage. Shop on the Marketplace sponsors. And, of course, save the date each Wednesday from 12 to 1 for Sports Scene, Business Spotlight Scene coming up. What Tees Me Off? Don't forget Sports Highlights on nnpstv.com, gjbtv.com as well. And also a great guest as always right here on Sports Scene. Don't forget a special political show coming up from 1 to 4 today with Mr. Fredericks as well, coming up from 1 to 4 o'clock right now. Ken, do we have our guest on?
We do.
All right, let's welcome Tom Wilburn. How are you, Tommy?
Hey, Greg, how's it going?
Good to hear your voice, my friend. Tell us about what you do. And, of course, the Dent Pro is really, really rolling on. I really love those testimonials I'm seeing.
Hey, thanks. The Dent Pro is a mobile paintless dent repair company that services Hampton Roads in Richmond. And basically, folks, if you have a small dent or a door ding and it bothers you, well, you can get it repaired without having to paint your vehicle. It's a lot less than a body shop. It maintains your factory warranty on your paint. And it's convenient because I come to you, and satisfaction is guaranteed. You cannot lose.
Very good. You can also see your link, of course, on HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Folks, browse, shop, visit. See Tom's website image. Goes right to his website. Just go to the marketplace pages, the services page, of course, where Tom's at, restaurants and retail. It's all right there on the website everybody's talking about, HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. And that's the thing, too, Tom. People are driving their cars always. You see it on 64. You see it on 17 going to the peninsula and the south side as well, that one little dent, even through a drive-through, can affect somebody's entire day.
Yeah, it can. For people that appreciate what they have and like to take care of it, they try to go out of their way in the parking lots, but inevitably, things happen, and they'll call me. And typically, for your listeners out there, if you do have a dent that you would like me to consider or like to have consider paintless dent repair, I would encourage you to take your cell phones and take a picture of it and text it to me at 757-310-8417, and just include the year and model and where you're located, and I'll reply and let you know if it's repairable or not, and if so, what you're looking at to have it repaired.
Tom, tell us everything you specialize in and what area you cover, as well as your phone number again.
Well, once again, it's paintless dent repair. Basically what I do is massage small dents and door dings and get it as close to its original state as possible. I have another process called glue PDR, which I have special tabs and glue that allow me to try and repair dents that are otherwise inaccessible with my tools, and not many folks out there have it, and not many really know how to use it. I'm one of the few in Virginia that has that capability. I would encourage your listeners, to look me up. I service, once again, Richmond, South Chesapeake, west of Suffolk. I'm mobile, so I come to you at your convenience. And once again, with this type of repair, it's considered a cosmetic repair. So, you don't have to worry about taking it to a body shop. I can even repair hail damage, acorn damage. Folks who have acorns or pitons, it's one of those things where I can save you a lot of money. I can save you, your factory paint, because there's no better paint job than the factory paint, and everybody knows that. So, if, once again, you have a dent that you would like to consider having the PDR process done, take a picture of it with your cell phone and text it to 757-310-8417.
All right, and give us your social media and your website as well.
I have a presence on Facebook. You can type the Dent Pro on Facebook. It'll take you there. You go to my website, which is, the 3 W's, thedentpro.biz, B-I-Z. And you can find me on the mall site.
That's
it. Greg has going. It's a fantastic site.
Yep, HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Tom is up there 24/7. Tom, all the best to you, my friend. Enjoy this pretty weather. And like you said, it's acorn season, too. The acorns will be down here in the fall.
Yeah, they will. And it's a beautiful day. And I want to thank you, Greg, for having me on. And I want to say thanks for your listeners for listening. And keep rolling, baby, because a Rolling Stone gathers no loss.
There you go. And I love your enthusiasm. Tom, all the best to you and your family.
Thanks, Greg. You too. Have a great rest of the year. Thanks, everybody.
My pleasure. All right. Tom Wilburn right there. And Ken, that's true, because you can even be in a drive-thru at a restaurant and then somebody's eager to get that Chick-fil-A sandwich.
Yeah, or if you're driving somewhere and somebody backs into you. I've been backed into twice. Once at a stoplight. Somebody decided they didn't want to turn left. They wanted to go straight. Didn't look behind them. Bammo. Another one at a car wash in the parking lot where somebody, I guess, just decided they wanted to change their direction. Didn't look behind them. Bammo. So, yeah, it can happen all the time.
Ken, we got a little goodie stuff to give away in just a few moments.
Stay tuned for a prize. If you like prizes, you like free stuff. I like free stuff. It's about the only thing I can afford. You need to stay tuned and be ready to text because we got some stuff to give away.
And Ken, you could actually text. Maybe you might win, but we'll see how fast somebody wants a $25 gift card to Thai Cuisine in just a few moments. Don't forget, folks, coming up this weekend at CP Shuckers, Friday and Saturday, it is Rooster Foot, of course, Hawk, Salt, Last Fair Deal, Blackwater Jam, DeLoreans, Cloud Sound, as well. Great events. Iron Cloud Sound, really good music at CP Shuckers. A locals tradition is CP Shuckers with locations on Shore Drive and Pacific Avenue. People love their prime rib, seafood, pasta, burgers, wings, and more. Of course, on Wednesday night, Chef Leon Bar Bites at Shore Drive. Go by and see Matt and Mark. Monday night is Wing and Shrimp night, of course, with Monday Night Football. Tuesday is Crab Leg night. Wear your college team attire and get half off all pitchers on Saturdays. CP Shuckers is your home for football, showcasing the SEC, Big Ten, Pac-12 networks, and all the college and NFL games. Like both locations on Facebook and log on to cpshuckers.com. Of course, live music as well, and their big event going on this weekend at the Oceanfront. For more, go to cpshuckers.com and their Facebook pages as well. All right, a prize coming up after these messages on Sports Scene.
Mi Hogar is your restaurant for the finest Mexican cuisine in Hampton Roads. At Mi Hogar, everything is prepared fresh in a casual atmosphere. Enjoy traditional favorites such as quesadillas, tacos, burritos, and fajitas, as well as refreshing beverages. Mi Hogar has 2 locations, 4201 Granby Street in Norfolk and 801 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Call ahead at 640-7705. At Mi Hogar, there is something for everyone.
When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the destination locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in transmission service, oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires alignments, and showcase Win automotive products. Fink's does it all. Military and senior discounts are available. Find them on Facebook and visit them on South Military Highway in Chesapeake and Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth, Monday through Saturday. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573 today.
Nor'easter season is here, so don't get all wet.
Protect your house. Call Crawl Space Door Systems at 363-0005. Reduce your flood insurance, reduce the threat of mold and insects, and save energy. Crawl Space Doors, air vents, flood vents, vent covers, and fans can help you stay dry or get you dry quickly. Contact Crawl Space Doors for more information at 363-0005 or online at crawlspacedores.com. Stay dry, my friends.
Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
Ken, now it's the moment they've all been waiting for. You love free food. Who doesn't love free food? It's lunchtime. It's dinner time. You've got to eat, Kenny. I know. Do you like Thai food? It's really, really good.
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, I'm trying to think. The only thing I don't like is coconut and liver and onions. Everything else I'm pretty much...
Oh, I love liver and onions. But this place, Thai Cuisine, folks, you've seen them on the peninsula and the south side as well. They got salads, appetizers. They've got the healthy ginger. They got the curry. They got the fried rice, the noodles, of course, the chicken pineapple, the beef Siam. I had the beef Siam recently. It was really good. Stir-fried marinated slices of beef with fresh garlic in the chef's special sauce, topped with fresh ginger, scallion, and cilantro over a bed of vegetables. They got seafood combinations, scallops, lamb, salmon, everything. And flounder too. Excellent place, Thai Cuisine. All right, get your numbers and phone dialing ready. The first person to text the word food, that's all you have to do is text the word food to 757-291-4234. That's 757-291-4234. Text the word food and you'll get a free $25 gift card to this excellent restaurant. Great place for you to eat. Take your family, your friends to Thai Cuisine. Excellent place. Text the word food to 757-291-4234. The first person to do it will win the prize as well. And then, Kenny, of course, we have some other great stuff coming up as well. on Sports Scene throughout the weeks. Don't forget to go to gjbtv.com, hit the YouTube link for archived shows as well. All right, once again, the first person to text food, just the word food, FOOD, to 757-291-4234, you'll get a $25 free gift card to Thai Cuisine right there in Arthur Way in Newport News. Delicious Thai food at its best by texting the word food to 757-291-4234. We'll be back after these messages. People in Chesapeake and Hampton Roads have come to expect the finest Italian food at Spaghetti Eddie's. In addition to great lunch and dinner served daily, this fine establishment caters to and can host your party. Call 484-7301 for their Taylor Road location and call 410-5500 for their restaurant in Greenbrier. For more, log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com. Mark your calendar for October 22nd through 24th as Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church in Newport News presents the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, an indoor event inside the Hellenic Center. Enjoy Greek food, desserts, beverages, arts and crafts, and much more. Located at 60 Traverse Road off exit 258B on Route 17 in Newport News. For more, log on to newportnewsgreekfestival.org. See you at the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, October 22nd through 24th.
Opa! Mi Hogar is your restaurant for the finest Mexican cuisine in Hampton Roads. At Mi Hogar, everything is prepared fresh in a casual atmosphere. Enjoy traditional favorites such as quesadillas, tacos, burritos, and fajitas, as well as refreshing beverages. Mi Hogar has two locations, 4201 Granby Street in Norfolk and 801 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Call ahead at 640-7705. At Mi Hogar, there is something for everyone.
The place for authentic Indian food is the India Palace. They feature authentic Indian cuisine, have a party hall, and do catering and banquets. Open daily for lunch and dinner, they showcase an excellent lunch buffet at their Chesapeake and Virginia Beach locations. Visit their two locations at 1437 Sam's Drive in Chesapeake off of Battlefield Boulevard and 5600 Virginia Beach Boulevard in Virginia Beach, and online at IndiaPalaceVB.com. On Facebook, look for India Palace Virginia Beach and India Palace Bar and Grill. Dine at the India Palace today.
Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
Baby, I'm playing on you tonight. Hunt you down, eat you alive. Just like animals, animals like animals. Maybe you think that you can hide. I can smell yourself from miles. Just like animals, animals like animals. Baby, I'm so would you try?
All right, back live right here on Sports Scene. Glad to be back after a week off after Dominion Virginia Power decided to have some issues during this Jolliffe Road vicinity that we're in right here. But, of course, it's all good now. You never can control that or Mother Nature. It's all good. My friends, Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us right here on 1650 AM, tunein.com, type in WHKT. Thank you for the text. I'll give away one more to Thai Cuisine, $25 gift card, delicious Thai food. You don't want to miss it. Seafood, beef, they've got it all. Rice, curry, $25 gift card free. Just text the word food to 757-291-4234. That's 757-291-4234. Text the word food. The $25 gift card as well will be yours. Very simple. Let's welcome Rob Rooks from Metropolis. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, Greg. A pleasure as always.
Hey, it's a great time to watch football. Why not just chill out on the big bed there and watch it, right?
That's the truth. That's the truth. We got a lot of great deals going on for football season. We're going to be giving away some tickets next month, so it's going to be a good time.
Oh, tell us about your place, your location, how people can get a hold of you.
Well, we're located at 368 North Newtown Road in Virginia Beach, Virginia. The phone number here is 499-0844. We're right off the interstate on Newtown Road, right before you get to Virginia Beach Boulevard. It's a pretty convenient location for pretty much everybody in Hampton Roads.
And what do you specialize in, and what are your hours?
Our specialty are mattresses and furniture, of course. Our hours, we're open 10 to 7 Monday through Friday, 9 to 7 on Saturday, and Sundays we're also open 11 to 6.
Very good, very good. How have things changed? What is the shelf life for most of these mattresses?
It really honestly depends on how much you spend. I mean, the old saying is you get what you pay for. We kind of try and offer things that are maybe overpriced at other stores at a reasonable price here. So you will have something that does have a shelf life anywhere from 5 to 10 years. The more higher-end mattresses might go 15 to 20. But like I said, it really depends on what you spend and what you get. So you do have to be kind of careful about going to some of these big box stores. They're really not going to tell you everything you need to know. Here, we like to give you an education, even if you don't buy from us. That way you know what you're getting into when you do finally purchase a mattress or furniture.
And, of course, you're active on social media as well.
Oh, definitely. You can check us out at on Facebook at Metropolis, also Twitter at Metropolis VA, as in Virginia. We're also partnering up this month with 4 builders. We're going to be featured in Homerama, a technology house, so we hope a lot of people come out there and check us out. Going to be doing some nice giveaways out there, great discounts on furniture and the mattresses during that time, so it's going to be real fun.
Rob, always a pleasure, my friend. Of course, you're also on HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Be safe and enjoy the rest of your week.
Thanks a lot. Let's enjoy some football.
Absolutely. All right, Rob, thank you. All right, Kenny, let's get to what teased me off.
What tees you off? Presented by GJBTV.com.
Ken, you're the hype for any first game of the season. Well, in the NFL, there's still 15 after that.
Well, it's like the pregame show, and then the post game show. Let's milk it for everything it's worth.
Ken, how about this? People who answer a question with okay. Really? How about listing what the question is? Just don't answer okay.
Or maybe they just don't know what to say.
Ken, there's always that one manager at every store you don't want to deal with.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I worked for a few of those.
Yes. When you walk down the aisle, then you try to avoid somebody at the grocery store, that type of thing as well. Making 2 trips to the same place for whatever reason, Ken, in the same day.
I hate that. I try to consolidate traveling. I mean, if gas was still 33 cents a gallon, fine. It's not. And it just makes sense to consolidate your travel and be logical and go in a linear way instead of circuitous around. Especially when you're shopping in a store, you don't want to go to this side, then go over to this side, and go anyway.
People that conveniently forget, although gas is getting cheaper, I'll say, but still, it's not easy. Ken, people that conveniently forget when they owe you some money.
Yeah, Orion Pictures, and I can name a few others, but anyway.
Has-beens on the air rehashing the same old minutia on the air.
Well, in radio and TV, you do what you do.
We're back into our, back to school mode. Colleges have been back for, almost a month now. High schools for a couple weeks now. But, give the kids a break. Don't do back to school reminders in late July and early August just because it's the first week of August.
Well, they've already got the Christmas stuff and Halloween. They had the Halloween stuff up in August, so the Christmas stuff is going up now.
Ken, when you're constantly being a reference on jobs for the same person, that's not good. That's not good. One of these times I'm going to say, it's a person's got issues, don't hire that person.
I have done that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if they keep on asking for references and they're still looking for a job every year, there's something wrong with that person. Ken, establishments with limited parking are those diagonal parking spots.
Oh, I hate those diagonal parking spots. And to me, I'm not much for adding on more laws. I think we have way too many. The government's too intrusive in our lives anyway. But a parking space should be measured by taking the largest vehicle you can find, maybe an old Humvee, opening the doors as wide as you can, parking another one next to it, make sure there's at least 6 inches of space between the two of them, and where that gap is, that's the outer limits of the parking space.
Ken, people who drag their feet when walking, you can hear them a mile away.
I don't understand it. Pick up your feet. Remember,
exactly.
I used to work for a gentleman who had a real issue with people that did that.
You're not going to name drop now, are you?
He was very much into, I think it was his Marine training, but yeah, he was very much into the way people walked, and he hated shufflers.
Or bow-legged either. Employees at amusement parks, Ken, they give you no confidence when you're about to ride a roller coaster when they're at the controls.
See, is this button here started or stopped? Hey, Bubba, what's this thing do?
People, say thank you to your friends and coworkers. Just say the word thank you sometimes. It goes a long way. Ken, we mentioned going to the same place twice in one day. How about going through the HRBT 2 or 3 times a day, especially listening to all your traffic reports all day?
Oh, Lord, I pity anybody that's got to make that commute.
And finally this, Ken, when you call a receptionist and you ask her if the business is open and she doesn't know if, let's say, the service department is open, that's not good.
It's like going to a restaurant and the waiter or wait person just doesn't know what's on the menu.
And congratulations, the winners again, of course, 757-291-4234. That's 757-291-4234. Just text food. I'll give you another prize. 757-291-4234. The phone number is blowing up. Sorry, folks, we can't answer it while we're doing it. That's why you got to text 757-291-4234. Text the word food. I will give you another prize. Thank you for all the calls and texts as well. I want to thank Doug Merrill, Sonny Dearth, Tom Wilburn, Rob Rooks. Really good show. Glad to be back with you. For more, go to gjbtv.com, hit the YouTube link, and text 757-291-4234. For Ken Johnson, I'm Greg Bicouvaris. Kenny, what do we got coming up this afternoon?
Coming up at 5 o'clock, in fact, from 5 to midnight, SRN and CNN are kind of co-hosting the debates. You want to hear the debates? You don't have a chance to see them? You can hear them, the whole thing, starting at 5 o'clock tonight, the debates, and we'll see whose lunch Donald Trump eats this time.
And Ken, thanks for all that you do to put the show on Dropbox and on YouTube as well.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
I'll look forward to talking to you next week.
AM 1650 WHKT Portsmouth, The Answer. It's coming up on 1 o'clock.